Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one is a 2v2, and it's a hell of a good fight. It's a few YouTubers actually. It's so me here. You can see I'm the Vampire Counts. I'm teamed up with ShadowOnlineGaming, and also against I think it's Zardar on this side and BlackIron on this side. It's hard to tell. They all look the same. So anyway, I'm against those two. So yes, this is a fun one. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the armies, and then we're going to basically show half the battle and then the other half of the battle. So you can see what my army does, then we can see what Shadow's army does, and then the inevitable mosh pit at the end. You know, it always boils down to that in a 2v2. So yeah, we're going to do that. So this is going to be an absolute bastard to edit, but it should be worth it. It should be a really comprehensive and awesome 2v2, and it'll look very pretty. So that is the plan. So, Vampire Counts vs Empire. So, my front line, you can see I've got the Sternsmen, I've got a load of Graveguard, just the standard ones, don't really need the armor piercing, but I want the shields as well. Also got the Claw and a Gash, which would be very good for sapping his front line, healing my own guys. Also got a Corpse Cart for further healing, which will be very useful. Also got some Blood Knights in the back, be useful for, you know, deal with cavalry, along with my Skeleton Spearmen. And also got the Red Duke, so quite a small force here. There are others which we'll get to though. So also you can see Shadow over here. He's actually got some Khan Wraiths, which can work brilliantly against the Empire. They can do a lot of damage to things like heavy cavalry or great swords, but you've got to keep them away from the Flaming Sword of Ruin. There's no doubt we're going to be seeing at least one Bright Wizard in the enemy's army, so you know, it's going to be rough for these guys, but used well, these guys can absolutely clean up. They are fantastic units, and they cause terror for so cheap. It's great. So also you can see he's got a load of skeleton warriors in the front line, with some spearmen as well, and then he's got Graveguard in the back, which, so you know, a lot of good fodder that can soak up some damage, and he's got a look at damaging units. So he's gone a lot wider than I have, which is why he's taken the lower ground as opposed to the higher ground. So, you know, he can take up more space. He's also got a Terrorgeist, so really good, you know, anti-large there, which is very formidable. Also some breath attacks would be nice, and he's also got a Vampire Lord on a dragon, so that way we both got lords on dragons, so it should be very cool. So yeah, very scary. Oh, and he's also got a Corpse Cart, Unholy Lodestone. I think these guys are a great staple for any sort of Vampire Count army. They can be singled out quite a lot by artillery, or, you know, like a Flying Lord can jump on it or something like that, but they are so good. Just being able to give everyone healing, you know, without you having to use Invocation to Heck is really good, and they only cost 500. So, and you get more than that 500, you know, cost out of the rest of your army that they're buffing. So, it's pretty useful. I really do like the Corpse Cards. So, yeah. So, wow, things are starting over here. Oof, need to hurry up. So, over here you can see we have Dire Wolves, the Dire Pack, and the Dire Pack. So, we've got loads of anti-large with these guys, and some spare wolves as well. They're all vanguarded. We are not going to show these guys for a while. We want everything to commit, and then we can start picking off vital units. So as you can see here, Outriders, so they're coming to fight the Red Duke already, along with Karl Franz. So this is bold, but what I'm doing is I'm pulling the Red Duke back enough so these guys won't be in range without, you know, running into my front line, and then I can turn around and try and deal with Karl Franz. But with his buffs, he's going to do so much damage, so this is going to be very difficult. Shadow is sending his Terrorgeist and his Vampire Lord to come and help, so hopefully we can deal with him. You know, we'll have Elseef to proc on him. The Mortis Engine will slow down in aura, so if he tries to fly overhead, we'll slow him down too. So over here you can see he's got Demigryph Knights with halberds. There's a mortar there, a Witch Hunter, Sterling's Revenge, Free Company Militia. Free Company great in this matchup. So many, like, you know, low armored targets to shoot at. Also Spearman. He's got a load of Flagellants in the front line here, which I think is really cool. These guys will keep fighting for ages, including the Tattersalls. So there's Bright Wizard on both sides as well. Here's the other one. So 2 Bright Wizards, that's very scary. So Knights of the Blazing Sun, there's 2 units of them. The other unit, oh no, that's Outriders with Grenade Launchers. I'm pretty sure there's 2 units of Knights of the Blazing Sun. Not sure where the other one's got to. Anyway, we'll find them later. So more Tattersalls, some more Flagellants, Sigmar's Sons, some Spearmen with shields, like good melee defense, and some Free Company Militia as well. As well as here, you got Sterling's Revenge again, and some Spearmen. They're led by Volkmar the Grim. Volkmar the Grim, fantastic in this matchup. You know, his banishment will just do so much damage to infantry, and all the other spells will really help out. All his other buffs and debuffs, and he does magic and fire damage with his, you know, melee attack. He regenerates, he's very robust, so very cool. So, over here you can see, things are going very poorly for the Red Duke. He's being out-dueled here, so we're going to speed things up and start looking at what's going on. So, here you can see, yeah, he's got Elseef on him, which is something, so his melee defense is down, so I can get some hits on him. But with Galmaraz and, you know, stand your ground on him, this is proving very difficult. Luckily, though, his Outriders can't help anymore. And now these guys are coming in, which is pretty great. He's still got... so I've used Cursing Years on him as well, which, to be honest, was a bit late. That's a bit of a waste, honestly. He was retreating already. So we're chasing him down, which is nice. Over here you can see the Mortis Engine is taking a ton of damage, but it's allowed the rest of my units to get in, you know, sort of unperturbed, which is pretty great. So here you can see, yeah, he's been caught out pretty badly here. He's turned around to try and fight, but it's looking very bad for Carl here. So the Outriders have moved back to try and start shooting into whatever they can, basically. So the Sternsman, good target. So, and there we go, Franz is now broken. So I don't know if we managed to kill him here, or if the Terrorgeist escorts him off. I think Shadow gets a Terrorgeist to escort him off, which is nice. So there we go. So beautiful. One Lord down already. Brilliant start. So Mortis Engine, sorry, the Chlorine and Gash is kind of far back, so I need to bring him into the fold. Mortars are firing into this middle clump, and you see my Graveguard here. Oh, suffering hugely, especially the grenade launcher backup. But here you can see the die pack and the dire wolves are coming in. I managed to summon some skeleton warriors. I was going to do zombies, but I thought, 2 for 1, I'll try and make sure they're pinned for longer. So charge in with the die pack, and the dire wolves chasing off the grenade launchers, the Outriders with grenade launchers. There we go. So that's pretty rough. Over here you can see Demigryph Knights have charged in here. I've charged in with my Blood Knights, but the Blood Knights are taking so much damage from the Outriders that I'm probably going to lose these guys really, really early. So over here you can see, because of all the damage that was done to the Red Duke earlier, he's getting close to his healing cap. An accusation from the Witch Hunter. And a ton of work. It's really rough. So here you can see Chlorine Gash sapping away everything. How many kills has he got so far? 20 kills, not too bad. But with all these unbreakable units, just having, you know, being able to sap them like this is brilliant. Another Curse of Years goes down on all of this stuff, so now they're all going to be pretty pathetic, actually. Down to 14 melee attack, which is very little. So not really going to help against the Graveguard too much. Here, Tattersouls are having a whale of a time. Chlorine Gash still getting shot at by the Outriders. But I finished off this mortar crew. The Spearmen are gone. The Witch Hunter, I think, will be next target for old Red Duke here. And you see Stern's Revenge have actually fled through the lines, which is pretty strange. So here the die pack are now on the Outriders, and the Outriders can get torn to pieces. The die pack, you know, they're great against low armored units. They've got a nice anti-large bonus, so they're gonna tear through these guys pretty quickly, as you can see. So that's pretty great. Also the Red Duke, he's not taking any shit from this Witch Hunter. You can see the Witch Hunter is getting absolutely toasted here, which is brilliant. So, lovely. Lovely for us. So, here you can see the Graveguard joining the fight against the Tattersouls. Corpse Guard is starting to suffer a bit here. Finally, these Demigryph Knights start to flag, with the backup of the Skeleton Spearmen. These Sternsmen, be able to regenerate a lot of the damage. This is a pretty good combination for Demigryph Knights and, whatever else in the front line. So, my hounds are back. They'd actually chased off the grenade launchers, and then they came right back around, and now they're going to deal with these Outriders, which is awesome. So, that's going pretty well. So, you can see, Shadow's Terrorgeist is only just coming back. So, it's still Sterling's Revenge here. So, I'm sending people into the Tattersouls here. Unfortunately, the Corpse Cart has been dealt with Sterling's Revenge joining the fight, which is really sad. And here, a Burning Head is going to come through, but, actually, it's probably going to do more damage to the Tattersouls than me. Oh, no. No, okay, I did a fair bit of damage to my spear, but didn't really do much to the Tattersouls, because they were all chasing. So that's pretty good news. So I got my Graveguard trying to chase down Sterling's Revenge. They do have silver shields, so they will be negating a lot of this damage. So that's pretty great. So that is good news. So here the Red Duke comes down to try and deal with this Bright Wizard. I can't have this Bright Wizard running around. That's just not good enough. Also, a Witch Hunter. Ooh dear, a Witch Hunter. So Knights of the Blazing Sun actually joined from the other, the other end of the fight here. So they come in, but it doesn't look like they want to stay in this fight. And chase them off with the Claw and a Gash, which is nice. But, the Tattersouls and Sterling's Revenge still here. And, all of my infantry is starting to wane a bit here. So it's looking a bit rough. But in the back, my cav, well, not my cav, my hound is finishing off all their cav. There's some free company willing to come back here. The Bright Wizard is still alive, but I'm going to hit him again. Come on. Come on, buddy. Hit him. And hopefully these guys get terrified soon. So, get an Invocation of Heck on my Graveguard. I want to keep these guys alive, definitely. So, still trying to get through these guys. Hopefully I'll just end up killing a load of Sterling's Revenge. But, so you can see the Tattersouls are getting sapped, and let's see, 64 kills now for the Mortis Engine. It doesn't tend to get a lot of kills, but you've got a load of unbreakable units. The health pools just get really low, and they just models just start collapsing, which is great. So, there we go, Bright Wizard now broken. I used LC on him, so he wouldn't be able to keep running around, because that was proving very annoying. So, there we go, one of the Flagellants down, other Tattersouls coming in. And in the back, I'm trying to deal with these spearmen. I'm going to sandwich them with my 2 hounds. So, I think at this point, we are actually going to go over to the other end of the battlefield and then see what happens, you know, in the climactic finish. Okay, so, back to the beginning. You can see Shadow's forces are moving up to engage these guys, and his Lord and his Terrorgeist are coming out to save the Red Duke, who is taking a lot of damage from Karl Franz. Awful lot. So Invocation Heck goes down. I think I actually cast one, and then Shadow cast one a little bit afterwards, which they don't stack, unfortunately. So, oh, one thing I didn't mention, the Red Duke, I did use the Potion of Strength, just so I could hit harder, which definitely helps. It puts his damage up to 728, which is insane. So here you can see Shadow is helping a huge amount here. This is really going to help. So, yeah, he should be able to, you know, well, you know what happens to Karl. So, over on this side, you can see immediately, I'm pretty sure this is, yep, Flaming Sword of Ruin. That is going to put these Khan Wraiths in a horrible predicament where these Spearmen will probably murder them all. That is not good. He needs to pull these Khan Wraiths out. Luckily on this side, things are going a little bit better. The Khan Wraiths, they are getting stuck by Flagellants though, and Flagellants will actually, they won't trade well, but really you want them fighting, you know, you don't want the Khan Wraiths fighting anything important, so Flagellant's the best thing to do. They're not going to be, you know, affected by the Terror, so that's a perfect block right there. And you see it is trading pretty effectively, you know, with the Stern's Revenge helping. Here it looks like a Burning Head is going to come down, and it's going to absolutely devastate all the Skeleton Spearmen. So, and Skeleton Warriors rather. So, huge amount of damage. Looks like a Banishment is going to come down here as well in that main blob. So, this front line is already suffering a lot. And nice rear charges of the Knights of the Blazing Sun. You see everything is already starting to waver. Without the support of the General, things are going a little bit iffy here. So although we did get that early win, you know, on that side, you know, oof, beautiful, beautiful Wind of Death there. So devastating wind spells on both sides here. So that is pretty damn cool. So here you can see, wow, okay, you haven't seen one of them in a while. So what is that even called? I can't even remember. Pillar of Flame? That's the one. Pillar of Flame comes down here. Unfortunately, it kind of whiffs. It kind of goes off in the wrong direction. Oh my god, does it go for the Flagellants? No, it's changed its mind again. You can never keep track. So, ridiculous mosh pit. Everyone's going with the big spells over on this side. It's really, really cool to see. Another big Banishment comes down here. So, but when you're looking at it, I mean, it kind of looks like the Vampire Counts are winning over here. You know, the Vampire Lord has come back into this fight. He's fighting Voltmar a bit. A Bright Wizard got over here somehow. But I think just with the help of the Corpse Cart, it's kept these guys healed up enough. A lot of them are crumbling, but it is keeping them in the fight. Unfortunately, the Knights of the Blazing Sun are doing a great job. With the Flaming Sword of Ruin going down, it's obviously proccing Kindle Flame as well. So all of these units, well actually all my units over there as well, we're all going to be weak to fire. With this, so the Knights of the Blazing Sun are getting even more damage in, especially when they've got the extra damage, you know, given to them by the Flaming Sword of Ruin, and everything is now weaker to fire. They're going to do a lot of extra damage against this stuff. So the cavalry, they're just cleaning up at this point. I think, yeah, 60 kills and 50 kills, so pretty scary. So over on this side, you can see the Vampire Lord trying to deal with some of this, you know, some of these handgunners and things. Well, Free Company rather. Luckily though, the Vampire Lord does have a fair bit of armor, I think. Oh, only 70. It's not even that much. So this is a bit iffy, honestly. And Voltmar is having a fine time. He's not taken any damage yet. These Khan Wraiths are still going, which is pretty impressive. But the ones on this side obviously faltered quite heavily. So a lot of the infantry are still going, which is very scary. Knights of the Blazing Sun, both very high health pools right now. And yeah, all these guys still firing. So breath attack on the Free Company militia. Might have been better to go to one side and then shoot across them, but still, it's going to help. So even more Free Company. They're just harassing this Vampire Lord a huge amount. So we will see the Vampire Lord will retreat pretty shortly, I think, to try and, you know, recover. He's not close to his healing cap yet, so he can just run off and recover. So it looks like the Empire on this side have actually cleaned up the forces pretty quickly. There's still, you know, some Graveguard in here fighting, which is good, you know, it's going to help. And, ooh, another big breath attack there from the Terror guys. The Terror guys have joined the fight, helping deal with Stern's Revenge. And now the Knights of the Blazing Sun, this is where they actually come in and try and, you know, catch out the Red Duke here while I was chasing his Bright Wizard about. So off he goes. And so, yeah, over here, you know, the Vampire Lord is actually back in the fight here. He's going to summon some zombies here, which will definitely help. It's going to bog these guys down, stop them from helping over here, and, you know, it's just going to help just kill a few units. I mean, they're only spearmen, so, you know, they're not particularly great, so these zombies will hold off for a long time. And amazingly, these Graveguard did recover, which is pretty great, so they will actually be fighting for a little bit longer. So, they're not out yet, you know. So, the Terror Geist is in here trying to fight, but the Knights of the Blazing Sun are on him, and is he weak to fire? I've got a feeling he might be. Possibly. I think that could be what that... Nope, that's disintegration. Okay, maybe he's not. Never mind. Either way, that's going to hurt. Honestly, this is going to be very tough for the Terrorgeist here. He's pretty stuck. So that is very sad. But Vampire Lord's got out, so that's good news. So you see, Free Company are still going, which I just find amazing. These guys were taking so much punishment, but they're still willing to keep fighting. So it is pretty cool. Graveguard here, still fighting, but they are crumbling now. There's still 30 models though. And how well have they been doing? 60 kills, not bad. Beautiful breath attack, obviously not huge target there. It might have been better to come in here and use it on this stuff, but then he would have been, you know, prime target for all these guys again. So yeah, may as well try and polish off something, right? So here you can see the Stern's Revenge. They've got the Flaming Sword of Ruin on them. In fact, everything does over here. The Terrorgeist is dead. That is such a shame. So that is a real pity. I didn't actually see where Shadow's Hounds went, honestly, but they did something, I'm sure. So anyway, here you can see the Vampire Lord dealing with the Stern's Revenge again, but there's still so many ranged units around, and Voltmar is coming in. Vampire Lord, very, very little health. So this is not good. So he is going to retreat, and at this point, the Red Duke comes in to try and help. So this looks like the big mosh pit at the end is starting to happen. So here you can see Red Duke. I almost land, but I decided not to. I just summoned zombies instead. So that's going to help bog down these ranged units. It'll stop them firing at the very least. So that is great for me. So over here I'm actually regrouping. So you can see the Vampire Lord is retreating so he can heal himself up. I've got my Hounds lying in wait. I've got my Mortis Engine, you know, my Graveguard, Sternsman, more Graveguard. So I've got some pretty good infantry left in this fight. So unfortunately I'm taking a lot of shots now with Red Duke, and he's really near his healing cap. So I'm trying to keep these guys bogged down. So here, also try and get a breath attack on, you know, some of his infantry to whittle them down quicker, because the Graveguard need help. Oh, sorry, zombies. The Graveguard are finally dealt with. So over here, I actually get my Dire Wolves and the Mortis Engine, and I've got the Dire Pack on these guys as well, so the anti-large will help. But these guys are armoured, so it is pretty rough. So I'm actually going to send in the Red Duke as well to try and help. My Dire Wolves finally gone. A banishment is about to land here, but hopefully with these guys on the move. Yeah, it does pretty good damage to the Graveguard actually, but luckily it goes off in the other direction, so it doesn't wipe out the units. So here, a load of stuff starts shattering, which is great news. So another breath attack from the Vampire Lord here, try and get rid of these Sigmar Sons, but my Graveguard should be able to handle this stuff pretty easily. So over here you can see I'm whittling everything down with the Coroner Gash. Unfortunately I lose my Dire Pack, but Knights of the Blazing Sun have now taken huge damage. And over here, these zombies are keeping the rest of the army busy. But there is another Bright Wizard in here, and I can't have another Bright Wizard running around. Because, you know, a clutch Flaming Sword of Ruin would be very, very devastating for my army here. So I'm trying to chase these guys off somewhat. One unit just got terrified. This unit, I'm going to charge, and they break. Oh no, they're terrified too. But they will keep coming back. But I am whittling away at their units, and with the morale as low as it is, pretty much every time I charge, they're breaking, which is great. So Free Company can't really reach me. They don't have the best range, which is good. So here you can see the Vampire Lord came in to deal with this Bright Wizard, which is a great move by Shadow. Still near his healing cap. You know, still hasn't reached his healing cap. Invocation to heck on him. So he should be gaining a lot of health now. So brilliant, he was able to afford that spell. So here you can see the last of the Tattersouls fighting. I've got all my infantry. They're all anti-infantry, but I'm keeping Voltmar busy. You know, I'm keeping away from the rest of his army so we can shatter these guys. So it's not the best use of these guys. Maybe I should just have the Lords fighting Voltmar and these guys fighting these, but honestly with the Knights coming in and charging, I didn't want to risk that engagement. And neither did Shadow. So we're finally shattering the Free Company, get rid of them. So that's nice. Also, Chlorinic Ash is in here. He's just causing a massive, massive hassle. These guys are getting terrified away, and they're still being sapped. So you can see there's the odd model just collapsing dead. So if we look at the kill count here, 130, and is it going to go up again? Okay, no, apparently I couldn't show you an example of them just collapsing. So, whoops. Anyway, so back over here, you can see the infantry is still fighting through these you know, these guys. I use an Elsif on Voltmar just to try and help out the Graveguard a bit. I try and get a breath attack on the last of the Knights, but he does back away. But that does mean that they're out of the engagement now, and we're hot on their heels. So they're being sapped by the Mortis Engine, which is actually pretty good. So I am managing to terrify these guys away again, which is nice. So now you can see some Spearmen are coming in, so we're going to try and dive on these Spearmen, just break everything. Hopefully, you know, my Graveguard and my Sternsman can hold out for a while against Voltmar and get some damage in, because we want to get that healing cap, you know, we want to get him to his healing cap, so we can just start landing these good hits on him with our very injured units, you know, we can't have a big prolonged fight against him. So here you can see the Mortis Engine. So let's see, 140 kills, 141, see, one just collapsed and died, 143, see, some of them are just collapsing now. So here, massive, massive cluster Fusterclug against Voltmar here. So he's used, you know, his Grand Hammer, Sigmar, you know, he's got the damage resistance there, but Voltmar does have very low combat stats generally. He's only got 20 melee defense, so we will be able to land hits on him very easily. So that's something to be happy about. So here you can see another big charge, and oh no, didn't hit him. Although that did, I think. Blimey, so no, it didn't. Wow, how is he shrugging these off? That is insane. Okay, somehow we're still managing to miss him there. But, you know, the Claw and Gash actually has some good armor piercing. Doesn't have magic damage, so that magic resistance of Voltmar isn't going to help him. So, Claw and Gash, not bad fighting in there. And, also, the Claw and Gash, I believe, has a load of magic resistance on his own. I think it's pretty substantial, actually. It's, oh no, 25. Not a huge amount, but that will help him. Voltmar with his magic damage, and not actually that much, to be honest. Only hits for 245. So, you know, the Claw and Gash can hold out against him for a long time and get some good damage in. So at this point, I'm actually there with a countdown for Elsif. Elsif is about to come back. So at this point, I'm saying 3, 2, 1, Elsif. And then we attack him. That puts him down to 0 melee defense. So I think that means it's impossible for him to, you know, not get hit at this point. And so with all these big, tough units fighting him, we summon some zombies as well, just so hopefully Voltmar will attack a zombie at one point instead of, you know, our other units. I'm telling Shadow, no, land, we just need to keep hitting him. Keep Elsif going, we just need to kill him. So here we finally just get him surrounded. We both summon zombies, and we just crush him at this point. But that was so close. That was such a close battle, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, both of our lords at the end there, you know, oh, I'm Battle Pizza, by the way. Both of our lords at the end had almost no health. I mean, look at these. And that was our healing cap as well. We couldn't have got any more healing for either of our lords. There was just constant pressure on them, but we just managed to scrape by. It was ridiculous. So, really good fun. And you can see, you know, from my army here, Graveguard performed brilliantly against, so yeah, it was BlackIron that I was up against. You know, all of his Tattersouls and, you know, his Flagellants. They don't perform particularly well against Graveguard. They're a lot better at things like skeleton infantry, stuff like that. The fact they're unbreakable is good. It means you can, you know, pin things down and let your backline do some work. But the Hounds came in and they did some serious work. Look at that, 165 kills for the Dire Pack. Absolutely beautiful. So you can see Outriders, they got a lot of damage into some pretty expensive units. Most of the kills they got were my Blood Knights. My Blood Knights did terribly. But they did manage to get some damage into the Demigryphs, I guess, and the Demigryphs just got finished off by, you know, cheap spearmen and things. So that was pretty great. Mortis Engine constantly sapping the health off things, you know, helping finish off units. So load of kills for him. But I just can't believe it. Dire Pack with the most kills. You know, out of all of my units, a lot of them did fantastically, but the Dire Pack were MVPs. I absolutely love the Dire Pack; they're so good. And if we look at Shadow's build as well, MVP. Well, actually, his Lord did brilliantly. You know, his Graveguard did pretty well, but they got hit by a lot of big Vortex spells. You know, Voltmar with the banishments and things. It was very tough, and a lot of rear charges from cavalry. Yeah, this was tough for the infantry corps here. He had a lot of infantry, but they got hit very hard. So that was definitely painful. But Vampire Lord did absolutely brilliantly. 145 kills. That is a lot of kills for a Vampire Lord. And, you know, the constant, you know, spells as well. It was pretty great. It was pretty great to see. Unfortunately, the Territory guys did get pretty caught out, but he did at least escort off Karl Franz, which was very valuable. Now, if we look at the Empire armies, MVP, not Karl, sorry Karl, BlackIron. He didn't realise, you know, that I'd have all the slows, you know, with Elsif and things. He thought he'd be able to get in and out, you know, quicker than he did. So it was a bit of a gamble, but it didn't quite pay off. But luckily, his Bright Wizard was definitely getting some work in. 135 kills for the Bright Wizard, absolutely wonderful. And as you can see, the Witch Hunter, you know, got some accusations in there. I managed to kill him pretty quickly, so I think he only just got the one in. Maybe two, maybe use one of the Mortis Engine, not sure. But yeah, that definitely hurt. That one more, if he'd got one more use of accusation, you know, out of him, I probably wouldn't have had the Red Duke by the end. So, you know, definitely cool to see the Witch Hunter and the Bright Wizard teaming up. You know, the Flagellants, they held their line very well, but they just can't compete against the Graveguard. But while they're holding the line, you know, the Bright Wizard can capitalise on that, which is pretty great. The Outriders killed some very valuable units. The Demigryph Knights, I think, was slightly mismanaged, but you know, they got some work done. The Mortar, probably swap that out for a cannon, I think. I don't think really you need a mortar to deal with sort of infantry. You're better off using cavalry, I think, if you want to hit infantry harder. But the cannon means you can shoot at, you know, valuable things like mortis engines or lords or something like that. So I'm not sure mortar is a great pick. Although, you know, teamed up with flagellants maybe, but you'd probably end up killing a lot more flagellants than you'd like. So I don't know, it's a tough one. Not sure the mortar was the best pick, but it was, you know, it's cool to see. Everyone loves a mortar. For Zardar's army, you can see his front line performed a lot better with the backup at the Knights of the Blazing Sun. They were able to really just keep going. So that was pretty great. 128 kills with Sigmar Sons is pretty fantastic. Voltmar got a ton of kills. Bright Wizard got even more kills, 150 for that Bright Wizard. So, you know, very formidable here. The Outriders grenade launchers, they were actually Zardars. Interesting. They were on, you know, fighting into my lines. But, you know, they got eaten by direwolves, so that's pretty funny. They got torn to shreds. But, you know, they would have done some good splash damage. 32 kills, you know, into sort of undead units isn't really representative of, you know, the amount of kills that they got, really. Because, you know, this can do a lot of splash damage, so you're getting a lot of damage into the units and letting other stuff do more damage. So, you know, it would have helped. So yeah, I like the Outrider grenade launch in this matchup, actually. As long as you can keep them away from hounds, they can actually get a lot of work done. You know, help break that front line. It's pretty cool. You know, help stuff crumbling. You know, affects leadership pretty well. So yeah, I like the Outriders. So yeah, absolutely fantastically played by, you know, everyone here. It was a really tense fight, really close, and a whole lot of fun. So guys, there should be links to everyone's channel. If not, then I forgot. But yeah, remind me in the comments if I haven't. But yeah, so big thank you to ShadowOnlineGaming, BlackIron Battles, and Zardar Total Warrior. That was a huge amount of fun. So guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.